Hello, my name is Matthew Butera and I'm a clinical psychologist at Cerebral Psychology, and I'm excited to announce that on Saturday, the 28th of March, I'll be holding an 8-hour intensive course on obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD. The course will be in person at our premises in Bundoora, but also live streamed. The course is designed for any current psychologist, counsellor, psychotherapist, even provisional psychologist that is looking to just enhance their knowledge about treating OCD currently, in the future, or just trying to improve their skills even in differential diagnosis. OCD is a fascinating disorder, and if I was to encapsulate it in one statement, I would have to borrow and tweak from the great philosopher, mathematician, Rene Descartes' I think, therefore I am. But how this would be worked towards OCD, I think, therefore maybe it will happen. This type of statement makes OCD so challenging to treat in the clinical arena. For example, intolerance to uncertainty. Is there a chance or a possibility or a million what ifs that what I've thought or what I think I've done may occur? Anxiety sensitivity. I do not like not knowing what's going to happen, and this makes me feel a certain way that I'm either compelled to do something about it, we could even use the word control, or in future, because it's so hard to deal with, I'll try to avoid it. This course is designed to extend past your clinical training and provide you more information that builds on some of the old foundational concepts of OCD, but also incorporate all the emerging research on OCD that looks at ERP from a different angle, not just habituation, but looks at it from a different form of learning, and also takes into account all the other factors that may perpetuate the disorder, like perfectionism, like anxiety sensitivity, conscientiousness, and how we can work with this within our case conceptualization to better help our clients manage, not cure, their OCD symptomology. We'll also cover OCD assessment. What are some good tools that we can use to be able to measure the severity, the frequency, and the intensity? How to form diagnosis, and also look at some of the most common transdiagnostic characteristics that we see in OCD. This will be the first part of the day. The second half of the day is about taking these types of tools or this knowledge and incorporating into live case studies of people that not only actually have OCD, but even also have comorbidities with other disorders, and how we've tried to work and manage a therapeutic plan to reduce their symptomology so they can get back to living what they would have considered a normal life. We'll also explore a lot of clinically important patterns. For example, OCD is one of few disorders that has a bimodal distribution, meaning people that have OCD either have it when they're very young or it emerges in their late adolescence or early adulthood. We also want to unpack is, what is a normal amount of checking? Like you, like myself, I check doors when I leave home. I think it's good to be safe. I'll even maybe check, for example, that I've turned the stove off. But how does something like that magnify or evolve into OCD? What makes it more irrational and what makes it more repetitive to the person is compelled to perform checking behaviors or rituals till they feel some form of proxy that they are safe and comfortable to potentially leave the house. Now, when we conceptualize OCD, there's a couple of important things that we sometimes miss out. Like rust on a car, OCD erodes a person's time. Time spent doing more pleasurable activities and positively emotion-driven activities versus living in this negatively emotion-laden world of thinking something bad's going to happen, I'm responsible, I can control it, I need to stop it. The course will also try to build on Nick Haslam's concept creep. And the way we'll do that is we'll take a dimension of OCD and look at how intrusions and even compulsions expand within that dimension. So to give you a very quick example, I haven't locked my door, let's go back and check it, to maybe the door's broken, maybe I did lock it and some part of me that's not totally aware of it or conscious of it has actually flicked it back and it's open. So what we see is that the obsessions start off probabilistically could occur, no different to what other people experience, and become more and more improbable to where having safety through checking becomes a lot harder to nearly impossible. And this perpetuates and maintains the disorder. Another major clinical pitfall we'll discuss is reassurance. As practitioners, we try to tell our clients and our clients' families, especially if you're dealing with children and adolescents, reassuring our clients that something is not a concern or a threat or a worry is the right thing to do. But this is a lot more difficult to do in reality. But what the biggest loophole is how it impacts a clinician. When you think about it, OCD people, on average, I haven't done the studies here, but seem to have above or average to above IQs. They are very good people, and they seem to have a very strong moral compass, which is very interesting and something we'll cover in the course. So when they come into therapy, they're kind of practicing CBT already with you. They're looking for evidence that suggests that their intrusions are not accurate. Even though they know they're not accurate, they just feel like they've got to keep on doing the same behavior. And what can easily happen is that when we start to do this dialogue with them, looking for more low probability explanations or more probable explanations to their intrusive thought, we actually entertain that intrusive thought, we put it into working memory, and we allow it to communicate. And this is probably something that makes it expand. And unfortunately, you and your client, like Alice, are taken through the rabbit hole to where the logic gets increasingly twisted. So what we want to do is learn more techniques from acceptance commitment therapy that when we have an intrusive thought, it is more than white noise, and by paying it attention, putting it in our working memory, actually maintains the intrusive thought and may potentially cause the spread to another theme. Finally, what we'll also look at is ERP. The NICE guidelines say that ERP works its best when the person habituates either in session or between session. I'm not disputing that. But there's been more recent research that says that ERP might not only work on anxiety, hence the reason why OCD is now part of its own disorder and not an anxiety disorder, but through what we call inhibitory learning theory. In other words, through prevention of a compulsive task, the person learns there is another behavior that gives them safety. Overall, the course will give you a practical, step-by-step approach to treating OCD that blends current and previous research into some more emerging research and helps you work out different ways, for every client's different, to help manage their OCD symptomology. If you'd like to join, please have a look at the attached brochure for more details, and I really look forward to seeing you on Saturday the 28th March, either in person or online. For those that do come in person, we will be providing lunch and ongoing refreshments with obviously a coffee truck here. So if that's something that maybe brings you here and not the actual OCD training, fair enough, but would love to see you all here and we can discuss the ins and outs of OCD and how to manage, not cure, this waxing and waning disorder. Thank you.